So yesterday I did my first impressions of the brand new Killian that is old fashioned, and I told you guys today I was going to be doing my first impressions of another one that I got sent to me by Ross from TLTG, so thank you to him. We were doing like a decant exchange, but this one is by Viktor and Rolf. It is Spicebomb Dark Leather, and I'm kind of interested in it, but I'll tell you why I'm a little bit skeptical on this one. But yeah, we're going to be doing my first impressions on that. So without further ado, let's get it. What's good, my great smelling dudes? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Randy, aka FragranceDoud, back to you with another first impression of a brand new designer release here in 2024. Again, there's a lot of brand new designer releases, niche releases, indie releases coming out all at the same time right now with the Versace, the two Killians, the Spicebomb Dark Leather, the new Boss Bottled Absolute. There's a lot. The Valentino, there is the Zaharoff. There's a lot. I was like, in my head, it's just all running through. So before we get into this one, Spicebomb Dark Leather, make sure if you're not already, you hit the subscribe button. Also hit the like on the way in and comment below. Let me know if you've tried this one out and what you think of it, obviously. If you haven't, let me know if you're interested in it. You can probably find them at like Sephora and Macy's and stuff like that. So I just haven't been out. I've been very busy lately. With that said, this was sent to me by Ross, and we talked about this like a month ago. He said that he was getting it in, and I was getting in the other designer releases like the Abbey Rouge Parfum and the Kenzo. So we were like, hey, don't buy that, and I won't buy that. We'll do a decant swap so that we can review that, which reviewing decants is not a bad thing. You can review it. It's either you talk about 2 to 5 milliliters from a bottle, or you talk about 2 to 5 milliliters from a decant. It's the same damn thing. Anyway, so in the line, my favorites are the original Spicebomb Infrared. Spicebomb Infrared Eau de Parfum was the most recent release, and this one is very good. It just kind of takes away a little bit of that sweetness from the original, from that like benzoin bomb, but it's still the cinnamon, it's still the woody tones. It's a very, very nice fragrance. We also have the Night Vision Eau de Parfum, which is really good. The original is very nice. My least favorite from the line, you guys know I don't really like powders, so Spicebomb Extreme. This one is the most divisive from the line. I know people either really love it or they really don't like it, and I'm kind of in the middle. I don't dislike it. Obviously, I have a bottle, and I do wear it during the winter only every once in a while, but it is my least favorite from the line, and I've heard that this, if there was one that it's close to in the line, it's that one. So that's why I kind of made this deal with Ross, because I wanted to try this one before I bought a bottle and then ended up selling it, because I'm not one to hold on to things just to have them in my collection. Just not me. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking and I'm going to start spraying. Oh, the decant, look at this. You can't really see, but there's the little piece, the atomizer, it just flung out. So it's on the ground. Yeah, see? The little piece of the atomizer fell out. Anyway, I got enough sprayed on my hand that I can smell it. I don't like that. It's getting a little bit better, but that opening is definitely harsh. You can smell the leather, but it just does not. I've smelled a lot of leather fragrances lately, and I bought a few leather fragrances lately, and the leather in this is just not what I'm looking for. It has a funky leather tone to it. It has a little bit of a smokiness, some spice. Yeah, I am so glad that I got a decant of this. Man. Honestly, it doesn't really remind me too much of the Extreme. I can see why people said that. It kind of, I mean, the leather, it's maybe if you took the Extreme and dialed it down underneath leather, I could see that being the case, but this kind of has a reminder of almost like, I don't know. I was going to say Bulgari's Man in Black, but I actually like that one better. It seems like there's a little bit more going on with that one. So right in the opening, you definitely get the leather. You get some black pepper. You get some spice. Maybe a little bit of, I don't know if it's like cinnamon or nutmeg. Maybe a mix of all three of those spices. But it's getting a little bit better as it's starting to dry. But in the opening there, that leather is kind of weird and funky and harsh. Yeah. I'm just getting a bunch of kind of synthetic, and I understand leather is synthetic. You cannot synthesize natural leather into a note, so I understand that. But a lot of companies, for instance, let's just go with Tom Ford or even Kenzo, like the Eau de Parfum, they can really mask that by blending in natural oils with it to make it really seem like it's a natural leather, like you're actually smelling a leather jacket or something like that. This one smells like it was made and that it was synthesized, and you can smell that synthetic tone to it. But yeah, it's calming down a bit. There is a bit of like a vanillic tone underneath it as well. A little bit of smoke. But this is kind of in the realm of those ombre leathers mixed together with maybe Spicebomb Extreme, but not as heavy on the vanilla. If anything, I would say it actually kind of reminds me of like a more synthetic version of Kenzo Homme Eau de Parfum mixed together with vanilla. That's like where I'm getting more at. I don't know if anybody else, I haven't heard anybody say that, but I'm getting vibes of kind of just like a harsher version of Kenzo Homme Eau de Parfum. Maybe it'll dry down differently, but we will figure that out. So right now, I'm not very impressed with this Spicebomb Dark Leather. I'm very happy that I got a decant from Ross, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you guys on hold for about 30-35 minutes, see if this dries down any better, to make me expect anything different. Obviously, test for yourself. You might like this type of thing. Again, you could probably find it at many of the mass retailers out there, at least maybe if not now, within the next few weeks, you'll be able to. But yeah, I'll be back in about 35 minutes to give you guys a feel of the dry down. All right, guys, so we are back at the 35 minute mark of Spicebomb Dark Leather. And as you could tell from my opening 5 minutes or so, I really didn't like the fragrance. And honestly, I would give it like a 5.5 to a 6. It really didn't strike me as anything that I needed to have. And I'm so happy that I ended up getting a decant of this instead. The opening of it just came off, especially that opening few minutes, like a harsh leather, very synthetic smelling. It did start to kind of smoothen out as I started to go through that first few minutes. But I've told you guys this for a long time, that if the opening part of a fragrance is not something that I enjoy, I am not going to spray it on just to wait till the part that I end up enjoying, which I ended up actually enjoying the dry down of this. So it's not something that, and I know some people feel differently. For me, I have to like, especially the opening, I have to like that part in order to get to the dry down, which I still have to like in order for me to warrant buying a bottle. But if I don't like that opening and I love the dry down, there's a possibility I would want to buy the bottle, but even in the dry down of this. So when it starts to dry down, so about 15 minutes into the fragrance, I start to like the fragrance, but it doesn't still come to me as a love. It still comes off to me a little bit boring. There's other fragrances out there. It does start getting more of that like vanilla tonka mixture in, but it never really comes across as strong as something that you would get in Spicebomb Extreme or Bulgari's Man in Black, like other people are comparing it to. I can see the comparisons, but the main note in this, don't get it twisted, is leather. It is dark leather, and it comes through as that. It comes through as a black leather. Again, in that opening few minutes, it comes through very synthetic and harsh. But as it starts to dry, it starts to get to more like the leather that you're used to. Those spices do pull up a little bit, but for the most part, at least right now at the 35-minute mark, it's not transitioning too drastically. It's the only thing that really happened is that leather smoothened out. And I'm really surprised that there's people out there that are not really comparing this to And it doesn't smell exact, and I like the other one much better, but Kenzo Homme Eau de Parfum. This has that vibe. It feels more of a warm fragrance than a cold weather fragrance than a warm weather fragrance. Well, the Kenzo Homme Eau de Parfum almost has that vibe of almost like a tropical blue that has leather forward. This one really does come through as more of like a smoked vanilla mixed together with that leather on top and some spices. And so while it does start to dry, it's nice. It gets up to about a 7 to a 7.2 or so for me, but still that is in my average range. That is in my do not buy range. As far as fragrances are concerned, it has to be a 7.5 or above, at least based on my rating scale, which does fluctuate a lot. But overall, Spicebomb Dark Leather, it's okay. And I know it's a very non-detailed review, which I usually like to be detailed, but in this one it doesn't really need to be detailed. It starts out with with a harsh synthetic leather that tones down and becomes more of a smooth black leather that's what you were hoping for. And then underneath that part of the fragrance underneath the leather is the part that really makes this fragrance just so average. And it's like muted spices mixed together with muted incense, muted woods, and a little bit of this kind of really drawn down vanilla tonka mixture that doesn't pull, at least at this point in time, and we are again 35 minutes in, it doesn't pull itself forward and say, hey, I have this really nice beautiful vanilla, or these spices are super good. No, it's just like, here's some leather that really just smells like a base designer leather mixed together with a few of these other things that are just stuck underneath. And so I can see some people enjoying this fragrance. I don't know if anybody out there could call this their favorite fragrance of the year, but who the heck knows? I haven't really talked to anybody really about this. I heard somebody say that it smelled like Spicebomb Extreme. That's the only thing that I knew about it, but yeah, I won't buy a bottle of this. It doesn't really strike me as anything interesting. Really, the best way for me to describe it is it's kind of like a toned down, more boring version of the leather from Kenzo Homme Eau de Parfum mixed together with pieces of Bulgari's Man in Black. I could see that comparison. But let me know if you guys get that Kenzo Homme Eau de Parfum leathery comparison here, even though Kenzo Homme Eau de Parfum is much better. As far as the performance, again, I will give that a few wears, even though I really don't want to, just so I could come back and do a full review for you guys to let you know if it has changed. But again, the opening is like a 5.5 for me. The dry down's more like a 7 to a 7.2. It does smell nice in the dry down. We'll see how it fares further in, but based on my thoughts of the opening half hour, I know I won't buy a bottle of this. And I know my opinions won't change on that opening, which will make me not want to buy a bottle. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are. If they are completely different, please just have a conversation with me. Do not be argumentative or say that I'm a bad reviewer because of the fact that you like it and I don't. This is a conversation. This is a fragrance community. So please be... mind your business, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Peace out.